Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Industry Shift. I am so excited that I have so many amazing colleagues I can lean on to help you guys work through this new normal that we're all experiencing. So on this particular episode, it's very much one of the most buzzed about industries that is on everyone's mind, whether it's the big exodus from New York City and San Francisco to the suburbs, or a huge, I would say, emergence in South Florida real estate. I wanted to bring on one of South Florida's real estate experts, a friend and colleague, Mrs. Karen Johnson, to walk us through how this industry is changing and how we can all shift and pivot forward. Is it a buyer's market right now? Do the sellers have the upper hand? Let's talk to her. So let me welcome Karen Johnson on. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for taking the time to be on. I'm so excited to have you here. And I just wanted to start with you and check on the temperature of things and how are you seeing things out there in real estate land?
So let me begin by saying I am the president-elect for the Broward Palm Beaches and St. Lucie Realtors Association. We represent 35,000 realtors in this area, and we are the third largest in the country. Miami is the largest. We are the third largest. Houston is the second largest. Also, on top of that, I am very involved with Florida Realtors. We have 190,000 realtors, and for National Association of Realtors. So I am a serial volunteer. Yeah, a serial volunteer on commercial as well as residential. I'd have to say the market has been the total opposite of what we all expected.
Right.
First, we have to start with our government officials who made sure that we were allowed to work. We were very cautious. We had virtual showings. We had all of that adjustment, but our industry employs so much people that it was very vital that banking, that title companies, that real estate stayed in. So we follow all CDC guidelines and we adjusted accordingly. So it's been very positive. Actually, we have less inventory than we had last year. For example, in Broward County, in 2019, we had closed sales of 1464, and right now we have 1313, and that is for last month. So the numbers are very good indicators that we have a strong market. Actually, the median sales price went from $369,900 to $390,000, and that's for a single family.
Right.
That's aggregate. So the demand is definitely there. We've seen a lot of multiple offer situations. We haven't seen this since 2008, 2009. We were at the point where we were becoming a buyer's market.
Right.
Depending on the price point, anything below 500, 550, you have multiple offers if you price it correctly and market it correctly. And we do have a large amount of people. I've had clients come from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We have Chicago. We have a lot of West Coast people as well coming in. The builders actually had record-breaking quarters.
Right.
They were in my development, for example, 24 homes was closed in May alone, and it's a small community. It's 620 homes. So, and that's sight unseen, probably 80% of them. So the market is very, very strong. Rates has a lot to do with that as well.
Right.
Rates are record low rates right now. So, and sadly, I could see the poorer people are the ones who are going to suffer in the future. Right now, the market for above 350 upwards, that market is extremely strong.
Right.
Even though with all the job loss and everything that we're having, we're expecting it to slow down a bit. However, we don't see any indicators as yet. In commercial, however, we expect it to be a lot different.
Right. Let's touch on that because a lot of these people that have had smaller businesses, maybe you were thinking about getting a new restaurant, maybe you got a new restaurant or a new boutique. A lot of them are just abandoning ship because of the high rent and also, with COVID, the lack of customers, if any customers at all. So we're seeing that specifically again in hotbed spots like New York and even LA, different places like that. Talk to us about South Florida commercial real estate. How is it being affected? And are you seeing a trend of people wanting to hang on to their businesses or just saying, you know what, let me figure things out in 6 months and start over next year?
Well, sadly, rents continue, and commercial owners don't get as much help as residential owners will. So their business will suffer. And Florida is the land of small businesses. So it's really important that we stay engaged and make sure we help them as much as possible. With the closures, you've seen a lot of people got laid off. The PPP loans, etc., that's been going on. They have a carrot attached to it. You need to keep people employed as well.
Right.
So you have skeleton crews. A lot of restaurants, for example, has become a takeout only situation where they're very efficient and they close for certain amount of hours of the day. So they're trying to continue. However, we see retail and office especially being hindered or having problems later on. A lot of offices you would see because they realize that you can work from home effectively and efficiently. A lot of people will be like getting smaller spaces when it comes to office space.
Sure.
Also with retail, a lot of online businesses are being born. So there's some businesses being born as well. We've had a shortage in industrial and warehousing, a large amount of shortage in that industry. So hopefully some of that gets repurposed and some of these retail spaces can become small warehouses, etc. So we didn't have an oversupply of commercials. But I think probably office and retail will suffer the most when it comes to large malls.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's talk really quick about the home buying process for a lot of people that were thinking about refining, thinking about, oh, you know what, it's a great time because mortgage rates are so good.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. I in fact, refied back in April and got an amazing rate. But I will tell you my process from that compared to 2016 when I originally purchased my home is a lot different in terms of qualifications, not just amazing credit, but the strictness from the banks. I mean, talk to us about the mortgage qualification process for a lot of people that are thinking about refining and finding ways to make more use of their money and maximize their money every month.
So I'm a former banker in my former life. I was a senior vice president, commercial underwriting, and I came from a lending background. So what we see compared to, say, 10, 15 years ago is more stringent underwriting rules and regulations. And that's why a lot of people are standing in the sidelines saying, hey, we're going to have a foreclosure crisis like we did in 2008. We don't see that because we don't have the type of lending that was allowed previously. A lot more rules and regulations are in place. A lot more stringent appraisal practices, guidelines are stricter. So it's if you qualify, if you have decent credit, or if you have credit that's over 600 or 620, you can get all types of financing. However, for a self-employed borrower, if you don't file your taxes, it's a double edge. You have so much expenses and you're writing them off, but you're looking to buy something, so it's catch-22. So if you do things correctly the way you're supposed to, you should qualify for something. Yes, they're taking a lot of precaution. They don't have subprime lending like there was previously, or bank loans or bank statement loans are coming back into practice also, but not as much as before. So we see people actually putting down payments. We're seeing responsible buying, responsible, because we don't want to set people up for failure as well. So when it comes to that, because they've been cautious, we think that we're in a healthy environment when it comes to lending, and we don't expect to have, unless you're in the Airbnb business where they had so many people jumped in and think, hey, I can make 15 times my income in 1 month, and they didn't realize that you have to carry these expenses and carry this for a few years, because now we have restrictions when it comes to Airbnb, etc. So I think we are a lot more responsible than we were, and I don't expect as much foreclosures or short sales. Yes, there would be a small amount of short sales and foreclosures, but not to the extent. But people have to understand, when they take those 3-month breaks that your bank lets you, you have to make sure and be responsible and not realize
for the interest.
Exactly, it's going to be added on to the front end, or you need to ask those questions. So, speak to your realtor, your realtor who is trained. Speak to your mortgage professional. Speak to your CPA. You have professionals around you. Utilize them.
What's the number one request that you are seeing from potential buyers right now? I saw, again, just checking things out on CNBC and staying really dialed into what's happening with real estate, that it switched from, lavish luxury accommodations in the house to more, home gym, garage, backyard, pool, more space in this new transition to stay at home, right? Or to work from home, right? Which is the new hashtag, by the way. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing this shift in terms of what people are looking for in their home purchasing, let's say top 5 absolute must-haves on their list when they're buying right now?
Absolutely. I think the open floor plan is dead because if you have homeschooling kids around and you have two adults working from home, it's impossible to have
Wow.
an open floor plan, right? So
Right.
you want an office, sometimes you want two offices. So a family that would be searching for a 3-bedroom now require a 5-bedroom.
Hmm.
It's important to have a play area for the kids, like so you want an extra garage. You want to be able to have a pool. That's a huge deal right now. The pool business is a huge business to be in. In fact, they're backlogged and there's so much competition out there, but they're backlogged and permits are taking longer, fenced backyards. So what we consider to be like a mediocre yard is now luxury because we have all these amenities, but we can't use them because of COVID.
Right.
So we need to have a pool in our backyard. So those are the important things. So starting to move away from that open floor plan, and
Mm-hmm.
a yard is a good thing. Having
Mm-hmm.
extra space in your garage to have sports equipment or a
Mm.
gym is very, very important. So,
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely.
You saw that?
I know. I
Ah,
know. Okay, so Karen, where are the deals? I'll ask you this with a preface of saying this. So Marcos and I walk every single day in our neighborhood here in Miami Beach. And of course, I'm seeing a lot more for sale sign, let's say, than I was seeing 2 months ago. So there
mhm.
definitely is a lot of homes for sale. Now, these are like 1 million and above. But are there deals right now? And do you anticipate deals? Obviously, we know that I would say bracket that the most affordable would be your 350 to, let's say, 550. I would
Mhm.
assume. I'm not a real
Mhm.
estate expert, but when we're talking about 1 million and above, in terms of high-end real estate, where are the deals? Are there any, or are those sellers as well, like getting the bang for their buck because it's South Florida and everybody wants to move here?
So yes, people do want to move to South Florida because of our weather. However, us being the hotspot right now is not
Right,
very good. In fact, there's a lot of people waiting on the sidelines to come in once things clear up.
right.
That example that you used with the 3 point something million was a speculative seller hoping to get, a foreign
Something.
buyer to come buy it.
Right.
Now
Mm-hmm.
they're being realistic in regards to their pricing.
Mm-hmm.
There is less inventory. In fact, we have 3.5 months inventory in Broward County, say for example, of inventory, and that is not indication of it being a buyer's market. That is a seller's market. So we have less for sale than last year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably based on jobs and people losing jobs, etc. You'll have a smaller pool of people. However, there's not deals at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and
Because I know
because
people are calling you. I know your Trinidadian
yes,
friends like
oh my
me would
God,
be calling and
yes.
texting, hey, are there any deals out there? Anything for
Florida's for sale.
50,000?
And you know what I say? I said, you know what? Guess what? If there was so many deals, I'm liquid. I'm waiting for opportunities. When you see me buying, that means it's
That's
time.
when there's
Because
a deal.
yeah, so I mean that's what we do. We look at properties, and we started off with buying foreclosures back in the day. So opportunities will come, but I don't see like a 20, a 30, a 40% reduction in
Drop
pricing that
like
we had before.
2008.
Not only that, we have so much infusion
Mm-hmm.
of government money right now.
Right.
Actually, the only thing that's going to help our economy and is buying. You have to hedge against inflation because guess what? Milk prices are up, groceries are up, things are
Everything.
going to it's going to increase, and the only
Yeah.
thing that can hedge long term against inflation is owning real estate.
Right.
So tell me, guys, it's a good time to buy. It's a
Yeah.
good time to buy.
It's a good time to buy if you can find a place and get a good deal. That's the whole thing, right?
Absolutely,
So I
absolutely.
think you cleared that up for everyone that was like, ask her
Yeah,
if there's any deals out
yeah,
there. What do you
yeah,
mean? No, no, you're not getting the $1 million house for
yeah.
250. It's not happening.
I mean,
At least not now.
there's opportunity in still very suburban Florida, like
Right.
Port St.
West.
Lucie. Yeah,
Sure.
Port St. Lucie, Orlando, outskirts of Orlando. You're still having Naples is so expensive. South Florida is very expensive.
Yeah.
So Central Florida is probably the place with most
The
opportunity
next
right
hotspot.
now. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Okay, so thank you so much for taking the time to wrap up with you. Besides the outlandish requests, where are you seeing this real estate trend going? Let's say 6 months from now, a year now, if I were to speak to you and do another interview with you, what would you tell me was the biggest shift that happened in the real estate industry?
So I think it's about you're not just going to hire any real estate professional. You're going to hire one who is the expert in the
Right.
area that you're interested in. So people will spend time and they will see the value of having someone who understands your market, understands you. For example, our foreign national clients. I mean, the good thing about it is that we understand where they're coming from and what they're used to and how to explain it. Like things like real estate taxes is a shocker to them. In fact, the amount that we spend in regards to it. But I think giving service is the most important thing, and understanding your product, understanding your clientele, and being able to give great customer service. You have
Right.
to be the to-go source. If they need a mover, if they need to find out how much their gas bill is going to be, their electric bill
Yeah.
is going to be, who should I use for a 1031 exchange? What is FRIPTA, which is a foreign national tax that you buy a property and you don't even realize that you have these tax implications. Who's the right CPA for me? There's so many questions and research, but it's the best investment you can make long term for yourself, for your future, and your family is buying real estate.
Absolutely. Well, Karen, I thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us and really get all these questions answered that so many people have. I think people want to know the three things I'm getting asked the most is, well, when do you think it's safe to get on a plane again? When am I going to be able to go on a real vacation again? And is it a time to buy? And, or should I just stack and save my money and really hold on to my liquid? So I think you really helped answer quite a few of those. Where can people stay connected with you outside of, I see Facebook here, Karen Johnson Real Estate on Facebook and IG? Where else can they stay connected? And if they want to be in touch with you about, questions they have, including buying?
Yeah, I'm on WhatsApp. My number is 954-304-4140. You can email me, and you can get everything you need on IG as well as Facebook and
All right.
LinkedIn. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thank you for taking time to speak with me. Have a wonderful day and happy real estate market.
Thanks for the opportunity and best wishes to you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.